This is the sixth edition of Dhaka Art Summit, and we're so pleased to be back to welcome all our friends, our curators, our artists. Dhaka Art Summit is an art festival. It's like a pop-up museum.
Kind of like a biennale meets a music festival, meets a university conference, meets a family reunion.
There's performance actually going on every day in different parts. We have films, we have talks.
We have tours of different exhibitions. We have a vibrant children's program. There's something here for everyone.
This year's theme is Bonna. Bonna in Bengali means flood, but in a positive way.
Floods weren't always a disaster here. It's part of the agriculture cycle. There's wet seasons.
Bonna is also a girl's name. You look at the exhibition through the eyes of a little girl named Bonna.
Most of our visitors are first-time art visitors. We're statistically the highest daily visited contemporary art show. We welcome 500,000 visitors in 9 days in the 2020 edition. What we really wanted to do was create situations where people can learn how to meet strangers again and think about the kind of bonds they form. So a lot of the works are also participatory, where the audience is part of the making. And I think Roman Ondak's piece, Measuring the Universe, at the end will be a portrait of all of this time we spent together. Most of the works in the summit, they're made newly for this platform. So it's a deep exchange of ideas, which also means that the works feel very contextual.
I was really inspired by the theme this year of Bonna. It's a piece that looks at the connections between rituals and ceremonies of rain calling across the Indian Ocean from South Africa to Bangladesh. In the pavilion, we see fired and unfired water vessels. I visited the ceramics village outside of Dhaka and collaborated with local ceramics makers. There's a rain calling ceremony in the space where we use the pots to make the sound of rain and thunder. And there's a washing ceremony performed by 5 women. They turn the clay into mud to put back into the earth. Over the course of the 9 days, we'll see that the pavilion starts to dissolve, which also evokes the erasure of some of these incredible indigenous bodies of knowledge.
This is an endless line of 2.5 kilometers. It is radically different from the architectural context in which it sits, but then it also invites you to join it and occupy the space with it and maybe feel how you feel in that space as the subject of the work.
Dhaka Art Summit also works as a bridge where we connect the world to Bangladesh and Bangladesh to the world.
The whole exhibition is representing Bangladesh. It is a sensory experience for the audience. People who live in Dhaka, mostly they are not attached with the real country. The farmer is not in Dhaka. Creative people, we believe that we are also like a farmer. We are also cultivator. Cultivation is a transformation in a new way, and this cultivation is not for me only, not for you only. We have that responsibility to produce something which is for the whole nation.
Very small feelings is a very large spread, conceptually, literally. It's an exhibition that takes you to a place you do not know.
It's the first time Samdani Art Foundation and an important institution like the Kiran Nathar Museum has done something in collaboration.
It's an exhibition, it's a playground. We're hoping that as audiences interact, they will encounter the inner child in them.
It's also trying to make us learn and also unlearn certain patterns in order to think of the world more expansively.
Overall, we have 42 projects. 60% of this exhibition is co-commissioned and new works have been made for it.
Who the Bear is a conceptual cartoon character that I created during the lockdown. Who the Bear has no gender, no race, no sexuality, no identity. They shapeshift, they can be whoever they want to be. When I was thinking about bringing Who the Bear to Bangladesh, I also wanted there to be highly recognizable symbols that everyone can somehow register or relate to. So works like the Van Gogh sunflowers. Whenever I make any installation, I want it to be visually seductive and appealing so that the things that I've been thinking through, which are always quite difficult, are actually pleasurable to consume, especially at this moment where everything seems quite gloomy.
A lot of people come for research, a lot of galleries, curators, institutions.
This is an art and architecture exhibition that investigates ideas of turbulence. Bangladesh is really the epicenter of sea level rise that will devastate much of the lower parts of the country. We have to imagine and build architectures that can withstand these transformations. Looking at the ways that we can create shelter of dignity for refugees and asylum seekers.
We also have 1,200 drawings by children who live in flood-affected or climate-affected areas.
And I asked the children one thing, to draw the future. Their future, in their minds, is shelter, is architecture. So I would say that Bangladesh is the perfect place to begin to imagine something new.
This is the Samdani Art Award, which presents the work of 12 emerging Bangladeshi artists. Climate change and the environment are incredibly important topics for several of the artists in the exhibition. Others are looking at individual human rights, as well as the rights of specific communities.
যেখানে সুন্দরবনের বিলুপ্তপ্রায় প্রাণী এবং সংস্কৃতি উঠে এসেছে। আমি এখানে 16টি বিলুপ্তপ্রায় প্রাণী উপস্থাপন করেছি চিত্রকর্মের মাধ্যমে, যেখানে প্রাণীর ছবিগুলো কালারলেস, যেটা প্রমাণ করছে প্রতীকী ভাষায় তারা বিলুপ্ত হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
আমার কাজটি সেই সকল ব্রিজগুলোকে নিয়ে, যেই ব্রিজগুলো গত 20 থেকে 25 বছর আগে নির্মাণ করা হয়েছিল, তবে ব্রিজগুলোর জন্য কোনো রাস্তা তৈরি করা হয়নি এবং গত 2 যুগ ধরে ব্রিজগুলো মানুষের কোনো কাজে আসেনি।
They have so much to say, and the themes that they are tackling, they are universal issues.
The Dhaka Art Summit is extraordinary because it allows curators and artists and architects and designers to tell stories.
This is significant in contemporary Bangladesh because it's having people rethink their assumptions.
Having this platform is making such a big difference for our region and for our artists.
Art was always made to be shared, and it's a wonderful celebration of the creativity that exists all over the world.
It's a place where you make memories, you make new friends, you meet old friends.
Friends or how we relate with others impact how we feel, and how we feel impacts how we build the world.